Welcome everybody to this afternoon's webinar on what's new in InBetween 6. You may have heard that we've released InBetween 6 in the past few weeks, so you might have noticed this on LinkedIn. My name is Peter Flory. I've been with InBetween for just over 10 and a half years. I'm responsible for sales globally, and I spend a lot of time talking to prospects, to customers about use cases, requirements. So it's my pleasure today to introduce InBetween 6 to you. So we provide customers with the solution to produce catalogs, price lists, and data sheets in printed and in digital versions. The way the solution works is in the principle connect, define, publish. So you connect your data, you define or configure your publication, and define also means define the automation level of your publication, and then you can go straight into publishing. Now, we are all professionals. We know typically it's not that easy, but it's a good guiding principle to explain what we do. So with connect, we obviously mean connecting InBetween to one of your data sources, or even multiple data sources at once. So typically we would connect to a product information management system. Sometimes we additionally connect to ERP systems, to DAM systems, CRM systems. Some customers use Excel for their product data, or Excel for specific data to control the flow in a catalog. So that doesn't really matter to us. We can connect a data source for product data, and we can add additional data sources as we need them. So for instance, in a lot of cases, we produce catalogs that include price information. That price information may come from an ERP system. So in this case, we consolidate product data from PIM and price data from ERP to put them on the page in the catalog. Typically, we work with a real-time connector with the major PIM systems. So we do have direct connectors to Akinio PIM, to ContentServe, and we have lots of other options. We provide a REST API for SIs to push data to InBetween, so that as a partner that might be interesting. So whenever you're orchestrating a whole number of marketing solutions, you can orchestrate InBetween as part of that and push data through the REST API. As you know, with InBetween, you can produce catalogs and data sheets fully automated. That means from data straight to PDF with no human interaction, which obviously is highly tailored for maximum efficiency. But in a lot of cases, specifically when we talk about catalogs, customers do want some manual control over the process. So we provide you with partially automated publishing through our collaborative platform, the Publication Wizard. And as you may notice, we call it Publication Wizard Pro now. This is the new version of Publication Wizard as part of InBetween 6. We can use this collaborative platform and subsequently promote the publication to Adobe InDesign for some final finishing. And obviously, we can use Adobe InDesign to automate into an InDesign file to do final finishing in InDesign, or alternatively, you can start with an empty page in InDesign and populate pages with products right from there. Just to give you a quick example, so SLV, they produce around 1,000 pages in I think, well over 10 languages, fully automated from Akinio PIM. So all of this is done without any user interface. There is no InDesign. There is no online platform. This is completely data-driven from data. And this looks like it could be produced in a fully automated fashion because it's very well structured. But as we move along, we see there are other product layout designs and other types of tables, and you can find that catalog on the SLV website at any time. When we talk about the collaborative platform, the idea is that you use the online platform to collaboratively review a catalog that was produced automatically. You can change pages, you can leave comments, you can do approvals. And one of the examples of a customer who's used that kind of approach is ABB. They've produced just under 600 pages, in this case in 2 languages, English and Spanish. And this is a highly interactive PDF catalog. They do provide a printed version as well. But from here, you can, for instance, navigate straight to the products. As you can see, this is fairly complex. They have lots of product variants, and you can use the sidebar to navigate to different chapters, and you can navigate from the individual product variant to the internet. I'm not going to do that now. It's going to take too long, but that provides additional specs for that particular product. Again, you can find that PDF in the ABB website. They have a specific area for all their catalogs. Mora is another example to show you a little bit less complex example of a catalog. And we also have Somfy. Somfy is an example. They use the InDesign plugin far more heavily, and they are in fact not using a product information management system. They are using Excel files or CSV files as their product information source. Okay, so this is a very compressed view of InBetween. And what you also should know is that we provide you with a unique no-code approach as far as the templating is concerned. Other companies require you to do quite a bit of programming or scripting for producing tables or product layouts. With InBetween, you get a visual templating tool. It's actually a tool that does much more than templating. It connects to data. It builds data stacks. It has an integrated table editor, and it allows you to do everything visually, and it allows you to build dynamic template because you can define rules to provide slightly different layouts for slightly different data situations. And the other good thing about InBetween here is the use of Adobe InDesign is not mandatory. In fact, a lot of companies approach us and ask us to provide them with a print publishing solution without any InDesign, because InDesign just means more work. And InBetween is extremely well suited to provide you with a print publishing workflow that is completely independent of InDesign, and that doesn't involve too much manual work. Now, with release 6, we drive this approach further. We've modernized the user experience, and we've introduced a number of powerful new features. A lot of those features are on the user interface, new functions, and a lot of the other new features have a lot to do with performance, with the underlying platform, with the cloud platform, and so on. So let's launch the sequence and introduce you to InBetween 6. And here's a roadmap for 2025. So we plan to provide the market with all those things here. It's 3 major steps, 6 6.0 has already been released. 6.1 is planned for the third quarter, or in fact, the quarter now. We are in July, and 6.2 is planned for the fourth quarter. What we've already released is Publication Wizard Pro, which I will show you in a minute. We've integrated faster generations and previews for image-heavy documents, and we've optimized the data management. And at the bottom on the screen, you will find a new label, the InBetween Flexible Cloud Platform. This is part of InBetween 6. Here, the idea really is to provide customers with flexible cloud options, cloud instances that really fit their requirements. And we are able to provide you with dynamic cloud instances, which means we can quickly add resources when you need to produce a lot of data sheets. Let's say you need to produce 500,000 data sheets over the weekend. We can add resources dynamically, and after that's done, we can take them back, so you don't pay for the resources, the high number of resources all the time. So that's really the idea behind this. But let's dive into Publication Wizard Pro. It's still a web-based tool for automated publishing and better team workflows, but we've redesigned, we review the user interface, so it's much more easier to plan, monitor, and build publications. The collaboration aspect has been enhanced, and so on. And you can use this collaborative environment for all types of documents, not just catalogs, but leaflets, brochures, and so on. And this is completely independent of InDesign. Only if you need to produce high quality print PDFs or InDesign files from this user interface will you need Adobe InDesign Server in the background. But if you don't need that, if you are happy with high-res PDF or online ready PDF, this user interface works with its own server production of those publication types. As you know, in Publication Wizard Pro, you can add annotations. So the whole commenting, the whole reviewing is much more interactive. You can generate output, and you can, when you promote pages to InDesign, you can read comments and annotations in InDesign as well. This allows you to include graphic designers in the team as far as this collaborative approach is concerned. Now let's have a quick look at the new user interface. Those of you who are acquainted with the Publication Wizard will immediately see that the design has been completely reworked. We still have the builder area where we can review pages that have been produced before. We still have on the right-hand side access to products and to pages, to master pages. We swapped here to the editing modus. We are adding a page, and as before, we are populating that page with products from our stacks list. So this is pretty much the way Publication Wizard used to work before, but it's much quicker. It looks much better. We can still add a number of products to a flow layout, and as before, we can choose any of the formats available and generate whatever we've built or whatever we've reviewed in any of the languages available straight from this online platform. So this typically takes a moment. But once we have this generated, we can open the PDF in this case and view the PDF. Okay, there it is. Okay, as you can see, this is demo products from different industries, from different layouts. This is what we typically use in sales to show, to demo the publication wizard for different solutions. Okay, a new feature is the master pages part. This is still part of Project Editor of the templating tool, but now you can build your master pages straight in this online platform. Master page means this is a prototypical layout for pages. And as you can see, it's pretty easy to create a page with a flow area, and I can define the type of template that is accepted by that flow layout. I can define the data source, what stack from that data source. I can define the flow type. Are products flowing vertically or horizontally? There's a number of variants. And now I've created that master page. I can use it immediately. I can drop a number of products onto that master page, and I can generate that one page. And as we can see, the products on that master page work very well. It's not the best layout. It's a very cheap layout, as I would say, but I think it brings across the point. We can obviously define different types of master layouts. We can define the margins, and we can define static areas. So this is a static area, very much like a header, and we can add a flow area, the same as we've seen before, the blue ones. We can do some minor adjustments to positioning, to the width. So this works very simple. I think you don't need any specific onboarding to produce master pages using this approach. It's very simple. And once we've done that, we can make some precise definitions of what is that static area. It's a header, and it also is connected to some data source. We will see what happens in that area in a minute. We quickly define the flow area. Adjust some figures here. And once we've defined again what template this accepts, what's the underlying stack, what's the data source, what is the template flow type. In this case, we go left to right and then vertically. We call it horizontal flow type. And once this is done, we can jump back to the build area, use that page, which we will see in the moment. We have to save. So this is very old school. Still have to save something, but this is important. So we can use that master page. We can drop a few products onto that master page. Even more products. So those are obviously all food products. And we generate that page. And what it does, it generates as many pages as are needed to accommodate the number of products using the underlying flow area. And yes, that's the Publication Wizard Pro in action. Now, we didn't design this in some laboratory. This was actually this came out of a project. So Eurogast in Austria, they are using Publication Wizard Pro already very heavily. Why did they need a more proficient version of the Publication Wizard? Well, they are producing leaflets every 2 weeks. Why do they produce leaflets every 2 weeks? Well, they are a wholesaler for hotels and restaurants. Not only can I order products there, I get them delivered the next day. So they are like an online shop, like a wholesale online shop for restaurants and hotels, but they also have a logistics. They deliver something in the morning and once I've ordered that the evening before. So what they do, they produce one master leaflet. That leaflet is distributed to 14 regions. Each region is completely independent. They have their own pricing. They have some of their own regional projects. So they use products. They use Publication Wizard Pro to define their regional version of the leaflet. Once that's finished, reviewed and approved, it's sent to the external agency. They do some final finishing in Adobe InDesign, and they look after the printing and distribution. And for this customer, this has been a great solution. A few other important points or new aspects with InBetween 6. We are spending a lot of effort in performance. One part of performance we've definitely improved is the caching and intelligent image handling mechanism. So now we cache images directly on disk. We can scale this caching mechanism to adapt to higher image volume and higher quality requirements for those images. There's an automatic cache cleanup. So whenever something changes in the metadata for the images, we can clean up the cache and reload it. Barcodes are generated only once and then cached. In the past, they were generated in every generation of a catalog. That obviously takes time. And EPS images are now converted to PNG or PDF and then reused across all outputs. Again, that saves a lot of processing of an EPS file all the time. This makes everything much quicker. The document workflow is better. Your productivity is better, or the productivity of your customers. We also spend a lot of time in the data management, the underlying database we're using. This is completely in the background. You don't really see that database. Is now MongoDB, which is far more performant than the database technology we used before. So this is for fast data processing and storing. This can handle very large data sets, and it's very strong in terms of read-write speeds for specifically heavy database loads. So when we're talking 1,000 pages in 20 languages, then generation times will significantly get lowered with this new approach. For the third quarter, we have a number of areas. You might know Publisher. Publisher is a tool where you can generate publications on demand. It's web-based as well. It can be branded, so it allows you to make sure globally you use the same brand. And this has been greatly improved. So Here we combined, or we're using the screen much better to define what publication are we actually generating. We have lots more access to the parameters in terms of output format. And on the right-hand side, we see the generation activity. So I can generate lots of publications in parallel, and I can actually see what's happening for the same publication in different languages, in different output formats, and so on. I can see the status, and I could filter this view with a whole number of parameters. So if you're producing a lot of stuff at the same time, you can make sure the activities you really is exactly the way you want it. We can also update publications. You can define which publication do you want to update. You can add additional InDesign files, for instance. You can add JavaScripts. I can't say too much about this because I haven't seen that particular part yet. So the publisher is a far more rich user interface now, which gives you lots more possibilities to work with. Having said that, the publisher functionality obviously is still customizable. We can still reduce the number of parameters you need on your user interface for your individual use case. This is really the full range of parameters in the standard publisher tool. Your particular publisher version might look quite different depending on your use case. We've integrated, or we will integrate, a smart push messaging system, so working in Publication Wizard Pro, but in all of the other online solutions, Publisher, which we've just seen, and Publication Planner, which allows you an overview of all your catalogs, for instance, and allows you to define workflows. We will integrate a smart push messaging system in there, so you get instant updates. Delivery of messages is ensured even when you're inactive, and you get a clear uncluttered view of your messages. So teamwork becomes much more smooth, and the publishing process becomes far more stable. What we're also doing, we are caching results of frequently repeated databases. So whenever we run the same queries again and again, this will be cached. Caching means we can reuse recurring information across pages, templates, or documents, and that really boosts overall performance in the generation process. So in the long run, generating a catalog will even be quicker and reduce wait times considerably. Yes, and for the fourth quarter, we are actually providing you with online template editing. We can't say too much at this point. Project Editor at this point of time is still the main tool to do your template editing, but we will migrate that functionality to an online web interface, and also the admin functionality will also move into the online world. As far as Project Editor is concerned, we've already moved the master pages into the browser, and that's very much the way we will do this. It'll be probably bit by bit, but as soon as this process is finished, templating with InBetween will be even faster, even easier, and will provide you with a much better user experience. Okay, it's just over the half an hour. That's really what I wanted to show you today. And obviously, we would like to work with you to help you to upgrade your customers to InBetween 6. You get all the support we can give you. And what I would be interested in is are there any questions? I'm not quite sure. You might be able to put some questions into the Q&A section. Actually, a couple of questions are in there. So, can publications created with Publication Wizard Pro also be generated with Publisher or InDesign? Yes. Yes, that's possible. With InDesign, it's very easy to see this because we can promote any publication from Publication Wizard Pro to Adobe InDesign. And that's actually what a lot of companies do. They review and approve, for instance, a catalog chapter in Publication Wizard Pro. Then the whole thing gets promoted to Adobe InDesign, where the media designers add some final touches. There might even be some very late changes, maybe quickly change a price because it's not correct and it's not correct in the system. So I need to do that manually in InDesign. Yeah, that's still possible. You can do that. And so, yes, that's possible. And publication that's been defined can also be called up in Publisher and generated there in any of the formats. There's another question. Can master pages created in the Publication Wizard also be used in other tools? Yes, of course. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. So this is fully compatible with Project Editor and specifically Adobe InDesign. So this is one concept, one underlying concept, and it works. Unless my colleagues say something else, this is all still very new. But as far as I know, that's the way we operate. Are there any other questions? I have a look in the chat. No, there's nothing in the chat. Okay. If there are no other questions, thank you very much for taking part today. You will be provided with the recording, and obviously you can contact Moritz, my colleague Moritz, or myself for any further questions or particular customers you might want to upgrade to InBetween 6, and we can discuss the details of that, any specific requirements, and so on. Thank you very much. I wish you a lovely Thursday evening. Here it is warm, but cloudy, so it's not too hot. But I think in other parts of Europe, it's really hot today. So take care, have a cold beer, and enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.